South Sudan's President Salva Kiir has appointed his rival and former rebel leader Riek Machar to be the vice president. A decree broadcast on state television on Thursday said Machar will be the first vice president, but gave no more details. South Sudan has been mired in conflict since December 2013, when clashes broke out between troops loyal to Kiir and soldiers backing Riek Machar, who previously held the vice president position. A short while ago, I spoke by phone from Cairo with Mr. Machar and asked him about his appointment.
Because of the difficulties we have been going through, it only occurred yesterday. And it is also premature in the sense that this operationalization of my appointment would take place after the troops have landed in Juba and after Juba had been demilitarized. However, we have welcomed it. It's in the right direction. We will accelerate the demilitarization in Juba and then the deployment of the new joint integrated police units, about 3,000, and the other forces from the two parties. I think this appointment is going to give impetus to the implementation of the agreement.
Now, Dr. Machar, there were some of those issues that you raised before, especially regarding the creation of a number of new states, and that was like a point of contention between you and President Kiir. Do you see that now being easily resolved, you as part of the government?
It is still a bone of contention, but if you recall, on January 30th to the 31st, the IGAD Council of Ministers had passed recommendations and resolutions, which said, first, the main city, the capital, be demilitarized, then the deployment of the new troops into it, including the security elements, and then I go to Juba, and we form the government, or the transitional government of national unity. Once we form it, the 28 states will be suspended, and we discuss for a month. If we fail to arrive to a number of states, then we revert to the 10 states in the agreement.
Now, some will always look at a position of vice president as somewhat subordinate to that of the president. Do you feel that you have enough clout to really put your issues on the table on the same level as the president?
I think we are negotiating. We can be in one government. We can negotiate issues of the implementation of the agreement. There is no harm in that. So even if the president is there and the vice president is there. But I want to remind you, the peace agreement has divided functions and responsibilities.
Dr. Machar, in terms of peace in the country, people have suffered quite a lot. What do you tell those South Sudanese who are listening to you now? What should they look forward to in the coming months?
I'm telling them, with the operationalization of the agreement, priority is to ensure that peace prevails, security is maintained, political stability is restored, and the forces that have been fighting each other be controlled while the deployment of the forces to the major cities are done. We will work hard to ensure that the humanitarian access is given more emphasis. We have over 4 million people who need food aid and services. It's the time before the rainy season comes. They must be reached all over South Sudan.
Now, Dr. Machar, people have jubilated before, especially when the South Sudan state was formed, and they got disappointed soon after. Right now, there might be some celebrations, but definitely there are people looking at you and President Kiir and saying what led to the new conflict was a clash of two big egos. What will you do differently this time to make sure you do not disappoint the people of South Sudan?
We celebrated our independence. We cherished our independence in 2011, July 9th. We continue to cherish it. It's our hard-won gain of a long struggle. It's never going to be compromised. The differences in 2013 started a little bit earlier after the independence, and there are differences within the SPLM. There's no two egos. The issues I raised with some of my colleagues on December 6th were about 7. The constitution itself, the corruption, insecurity which was rampant in the country, tribalism which was eating our bureaucracy and our society, the fact that the ruling party, by its own verdict, said The SPLM has lost vision and direction, and the economic growth was not going as we expected. And finally, our relations with our good friends who helped out during the independence. These were not egos of two men. These were real issues. We have resolved these issues in Arusha, in an Arusha agreement. Now the current agreement, the IGAD-mediated agreement, is ushering in reforms in our governance. We will apply a federal system, reforms in the army, in the other national security organs, reforms in the economy, and also transitional justice. So these are not personal egos.
Dr. Machar, Vice President, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you.